Do you want to know how I take pictures for my listings? It's pretty funny. Don't laugh, but I'm going to show you how I do that today. I also have a lot of other fun things for this video. We're going to look at my eBay reports, of course, for the week of April 10th through the April 16th. In a previous video, I also calculated my hourly rate, how many dollars I make per hour. This week I have a little twist on that. I decided to calculate what my hourly rate is per item sold. So it's a little bit different, a little bit more exciting, and I'll show you that. I also will show you what sold this week and go through all the numbers for each item. We're going to look at my overall profit and cash flow, and of course my business metrics. Hello and welcome to eBay with Chris. I am on a journey to build an eBay business from $0 to $3,000 monthly profit in just 12 months. As you can see behind me, I have my boxes of inventory stacked up. I have roughly, at this point, I have roughly 500 items in 27 boxes. So by the time I hit my goal of having 2,000 items in order to meet my profit goal, I'm going to have like 120 boxes, or yeah, between 100 and 120 boxes of inventory. Crazy. All right, well, let's get into the video. We're going to start with a few what sold items. Let's go. But before we get into the what sold, I need to explain my cost per item. So my buy cost per item year to date is averaging $1.82 per item. I also add another $1.20-ish or $1-ish of cost per item to cover things like boxes, poly bags to put them in, stickers, shipping labels, shipping poly bags, things like that. I did the math on those items and it's roughly, oh, and of course laundry as well. But it looks like I'm averaging less than $1 per item on all of those extra pieces that I need to run my business. So I go ahead and just round it up to an even $3 expense per item. So that's what I base my profit per item on. Here we go. So now we're going to go ahead and look at 4 items that sold this week in this section right here. I try and use keywords to help customers find items. If you have other keywords for some of these items, please let me know, because that's what's really important, is try to find words that people are searching for to help them find these specific items. This, as you can see, is an Under Armour women's jacket. I use keywords like storm, rain, water resistant in my title. And this buyer is all in for $30.77. My earnings from eBay, $18.15, and my profit was $15. This item is a pair of Buckle BKE jeans. You've probably heard me talk about that in other videos, but BKE is definitely a brand to look out for. And this item, they called it the Stella Skinny. And I use words like distressed, and of course I wrote in low rise and things like that. But this buyer is all in for $30.21, and my earnings from eBay, $15.97 for a profit of $13. Here we have a Nike golf polo shirt. You can see it's black and gray. I used, the size is 2XL. I used 2XL and XXL. I don't know if that makes a difference, but maybe it does if people are searching for that certain size. This buyer is all in for $23.03. My eBay earnings, $15.45, and my profit, $12. Now, this was a really good find. So this is a Nike Stormfit windbreaker, golf windbreaker, if you want to look at it that way, but it has the Texas Longhorns logo on it, and it's their orange color, really nice. This buyer is from Canada, so they actually have shipping costs of $19. So this buyer was all in for $46. My earnings from eBay, $22.92, and my profit, $20. Next, we're going to look at the eBay reports. Let's go. So as you can see, this is the report for the week of April 10th through April 16th. I sold 17 items. My total sales, $522.63. My selling costs, now we'll break these costs down a little bit because some people have asked me, wow, those are really high eBay fees, you know, at 37, 38%. No, these are just this is my total selling cost. So it includes my cost to ship, ads, eBay fees, etc. So we'll break that down. But my selling costs were $197.34. 37.8%, which is about where I've been, in between 36 and 38%. My net sales, or what eBay paid me, $303.34. Really good. So, and my average selling price per item for this week, $30.74. And we'll talk about this later, but my goal, my target, is to have an average selling price of over $28, which will ensure that I have at least a $10 profit per item. So that looks like it's a good sign. We'll get into those metrics a little bit later in this video as well. Okay, this chart breaks down my sales per day for the week. You can see my total sales, once again, $522.63. That's what all the buyers were all in for. Now, part of that fee is, of course, the item cost. So the item cost for those sales, $339.50, and the shipping and handling that the buyers paid, $161.18. And of course, they also paid taxes and government fees, $21.95. Now, you look at the chart itself, I had sales every single day, which is pretty exciting. Now, a couple of those days weren't much, one item for a few dollars, but it looks like on Monday, around $66, on Thursday, around $70. Friday was my big day of $200.20, and then both Saturday and Sunday rounded out the week at $80 per day. So overall, a nice round week. Okay, so here's the breakdown of the selling costs for the week. As you can see, $197.34 were my total selling costs. eBay fees, $81.21. Now that includes two things. Well, a few more than two things, but the main two things are the final value fees and the ad fees. You can see the final value fees, $67.29. Now, if I divide that number by my total sales for the week, that turns out to be 12.9%, which is right in line. You know, eBay fees typically can plan on around 13% for the final value fees. So for me, 12.9%. Also have some ad fees here of $13.47. Now, I put items on ads after they've been in my store roughly 3 to 4 weeks. I'll put them all on a 5% ads within eBay, the promotional ads that they have. And $13.47 is 2.6% of my total sales for the week. So total eBay fees with the final value fees and the ad fees turns out to be 15.5% of my sales. Not too bad. And the final selling fee there, and the biggest one, is just my cost to ship the items to the customer. Of course, you know, they pay for shipping. I don't do free shipping on any of my items. Everything is the cost of the item plus shipping. So I paid $116.13 for to ship those 17 items to my customers. Let's take a look at 4 more items that sold this week. So this item I got in a lot of free items from my friend. These were Express women's, it's just a crop cardigan. So my cost was $0, but you know, a lot of the items weren't very sellable, or maybe their brand is pretty saturated, and this is an example of one of those items, so I did price them low just to see if I can move them and make a little bit of money off of them, which I did. So I have a lot more, of course, in my inventory of these items, but I also have a lot more that I haven't listed yet as well. So this buyer is all in for $17.59. eBay paid me $9.23, and my profit was $6. Here we have a pair of men's Volcom chino pants, gray. Volcom is a skateboarding brand, so I typically will pick up anything that's Volcom. They seem to sell okay for me. This buyer is all in for $29.85, and eBay paid me $16.47 for a profit of $13. This item is a really good find as well. University of Rhode Island. When I first saw this, I had no idea. I had to search the logo, and I discovered it was for the University of Rhode Island. It's a men's kind of a windbreaker, rain shell. I used all those keywords, rain shell. I didn't use golf jacket, which would have been a good one as well. But I pick up items for smaller colleges, and there were not very many items listed for this school with this logo on it. So it sold pretty fast. So I think it was like less than 2 weeks. But this buyer was all in for $60.57. eBay paid me $41.89 for a profit of $39. Here we have some Wrangler jeans. The style is Q Baby. I normally don't look up Wrangler jeans. I should probably look up more of them so I learn more about the brand. But I looked up the keyword Q Baby and they had a good sell-through rate. And I thought the prices were a little bit better when I did buy them, but not so much. When I did the listing, I discovered that they didn't have as much value. However, the buyer on this one was all in for $24.56, and eBay paid me $10.44 for a profit of $7. Will I buy these anymore if I see them? Probably not. Okay, so now we're going to dive into how I take pictures for my listings. Don't laugh. Enjoy. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to show you how I take pictures and photograph all of my items. I do a flat lay process, and I just have a couple of tools that I use. The first thing, of course, is my phone. That's how I take all my pictures. I set it in a ratio of 1:1. Also, because I am doing flat lay on the ground, I'm on my knees a lot, so I actually put on knee pads. Check those out, pretty nice. Got those off Amazon. And of course I've got my ruler and my glasses because I can't see close up when I'm taking the picture, so I don't know if it's in focus or not. So here we go, let's do this. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is this Victoria's Secret pink, Love Pink sweatshirt. And I just kind of lay it out like this. And I start by taking an overall picture of it. Okay. And then I will take a picture of the length. And I basically will get this corner right here in the picture. And then I take a picture of it across the chest. Get that, the measurement right there. Oops, got a reflection. And then I'll get a picture of the arm length. And then I get up here, I might get some detail, like the detail of the collar and the logo. And then the label here. Flip it over. I don't think there's going to be any labels inside because that label looked like it had everything. Yep. And then the last thing I do is I flip it over. Look at that. Nice big logo on the back. Get the arms set up nice. Make sure the drawstrings aren't sticking out because it looks funny. Okay. Another picture of the whole thing. Oops. And then any other details I think I might want to show on. So maybe a close up of that logo right there. And I'm done. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I do a pair of pants. Lay it out and make sure it's all good. I make sure it's buttoned and zipped. It looks really good as far as the kind of an overall picture. And then I'll go up here and I'll get the waist of it. Picture of the waist. As best as I can. Then I'll do the length. And if it's a women's pair of jeans, I'll actually do the rise as well. But for this pair, I'm not going to. But for the pant length, I basically will get the bottom of the measurement there. Get this out of the way. Oh, I'm also going to point out defects. You can see this one has a lot of fading. So I'm just going to take some kind of close-ups of the fading. If I can get that in the image, it's kind of hard. And just put my fingers there pointing out some of the fading there. I don't know if you can see the fading in the video, but it's pretty, there's a lot of it. Okay, and then let's go up here and get a picture of the type of jeans here. It's a Liverpool Relaxed Fit. And there's the label on the inside. So now I can get the labels. And when it has multiple languages, of course, I'm trying to find English as the focal point. And also this one has like a style code and color and things like that in here, so I'll try and get the white label as well. Okay. And then I'll flip it over. I'll get an overall picture. Now I might get like a close-up of the pant legs and then a close-up of the pockets and the rear end. And that's it. Well, what'd you think about my picture taking process? Pretty funny, right? It's definitely not the most comfortable or ergonomic way of doing it, but it is kind of a down and dirty method. It took me a minute 53 to do that sweatshirt and 2 minutes and 17 seconds to do that pair of pants. My average time for photos per item is 3 minutes. That includes like kind of setting up the area as well as folding each item afterwards. You know, so basically the time I take, I will usually shoot 10 items at a time, and it typically takes me almost exactly 30 minutes to do those 10 items every single time I do them. There's probably opportunities to improve, like maybe a better a wooden ruler that doesn't have glare instead of the tape measure that I use. So I am looking at changing a few things to see if I can speed up the process a little bit more. Because as I'm doing more and more listings, I need to try and cut out seconds on every photo shoot, every time I actually do the listing. It's important for me to start cutting out that time to get more and more efficient. But if you have ideas or thoughts about my setup, of course I've watched lots of other YouTubers and how they do their picture taking. But if you have other ideas for me, or if you learned something, please put that in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. And if you get some value out of that content, you know, give me a thumbs up here. All right, we're gonna go and look at 4 more items that I shipped out and sold this week. Okay, so here we have a Nike windbreaker or rain jacket. I use keywords such as running and golf. This buyer is all in for $38.19. My eBay payout $23.77 for a profit of $20. Okay, so this t-shirt, I just picked it up. I thought it might have more value than it did based on my research of the bins, but when I got back and discovered that the comps were pretty low, I set the price low just so I can move it pretty quick. I don't like sitting on things. I know I'm going to sit on things, but when they're cheap like this and I see that I kind of made a mistake in my buy, I just want to get it out of my inventory. So this is a grunt style t-shirt. It says this we will defend with the American flag on the front. This buyer is all in for $14.33. eBay paid me $7.11 and I got a profit of $4. Okay, so here we have a pair of Hollister sweatpants, vintage. They're men's, and they have the HCO and Laguna embroidery, or not embroidery, actually, I guess sewn on patches. I'm not sure what the right word is for that. But this buyer was all in for $40.73. eBay paid me $22.63 for a profit of $19. So Ralph Lauren Denim Supply is a brand to kind of keep an eye out for. It has a good sell-through rate. It's popular. So here we have a sweatshirt hoodie. It's a men's XL, and it's got the Denim Supply logo across the front. This buyer is all in for $28.34. eBay paid me $16.90, and I got a profit of $14. So let's dive into my business metrics. So as you know, my goal is to build an eBay business with a monthly profit of $3,000 per month, and I'm trying to do that in less than 1 year or 12 months. So I'm focused on 3 metrics. First of all, I want to have 2,000 items in my store. If I have 2,000 items in my store, I believe I'm going to be selling 300 items per month. And if I have a $10 profit per item, that'll be $3,000 profit per month. And so that's what I'm focused on. So the first metric is to add 50 items to my store every week. If I add 50 items to my store every week, by December 1st, I'll have 2,000 items in my store. At the start of this week, I started with 435 items in my store, and I ended the week with 490 items in my store. Woo! So my store grew by 55 items. Since I sold 17 items, that means I listed a total of 72 items during the week. So metric number 1, complete. Metric number 2 is to have an average sell-through rate of 0.5% or greater. So if I have 2,000 items in my store, I should be selling 10 items per day. 0.5% of 2,000 is 10 items per day. That's where that number comes from. And so that's my target. I want to be able to buy the correct items, or buy items that people want to buy, and price them correctly so that people will buy them. So this last week, let me calculate my sell-through rate for this last week. I sold 17 items in 7 days, and my store started with 435 items in my store. So in order to calculate your sell-through rate, you take the number of items sold over the number of days and divide it by your store size. So 17 divided by 7 divided again by 435, 0.56% sell-through rate. So I did achieve my goal. I am greater than 0.5% sell-through rate, but just barely. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. I'm going to focus on my buys. I want to make sure I'm buying products with a better sold to listed ratio. So currently I'm probably buying a few things, or I have bought a few things that have a lower sold to listed ratio. What that means is, like, if there's 100 items listed and only 10 sold, that's not a good sell-through rate for that item. That's not a good ratio. So I'm trying to find things that sold 100 items and have listed 100 items. So that means, you know, within 90 days, most likely my item's going to sell. But I do go lower than that. Sometimes I'm looking at 30%, 50% sell-through rate for the items that I buy. So I need to be more picky or more particular on the items I'm buying, because I need to make sure the sell-through rate is over 0.5% in order to achieve my goal. And metric number 3 is to have a $10 profit per item. So eBay paid me $303.34 for the sales this week. My cost of goods, so I sold 17 items, and as you know, I'm assuming an expense of $3 per item. That includes the $1.82 buy cost, plus, you know, things like laundry, boxes, shipping supplies, packaging supplies, tape, printer ink, all that kind of stuff. So if you take the 17 items I sold, multiply it by $3 each, so my cost of goods for those sales was $51. Then you subtract the $51 from what eBay paid me, $303.34, and my profit was $252.34. Not bad. Now if you divide that by the 17 items that I sold, my average profit per item was $14.84. So well above my $10 per item goal. So for the 17 items that I sold this week, 4 of those items had a profit of less than $10. So that's okay. However, I need to, again, be more particular about the items that I buy to make sure that they will sell for a higher dollar amount. So on the front end, I'm going to spend more time sourcing the items in order to make sure that they have a better sell-through rate and more profit. If I spend more time up front, I'm going to win at the end. Now, some of you in the comments have mentioned, well, is this profit after taxes or before taxes? Of course, this is income. So it's taxable income before taxes. So if I want to set aside money for my taxes, or just take that away from this profit number, I'll assume a 25% income tax. So if I take the $252.34 and take away 25% for taxes, My profit after that is $189.25. Not bad for a week. Okay, so let's look at the last 5 items that I sold for this week. So here we have an LL Bean, just a regular t-shirt. It's blue, it's 2XL traditional fit. This buyer, and I was surprised, this item sold in just a couple weeks. But this buyer was all in for $19.83. eBay paid me $12.64, and I got a profit of $9. Okay, so here we have a bra by Victoria's Secret. Now I see bras in the bins all the time, and I don't pick them up. I don't even look at them. I toss them to the side. But for some reason I grabbed this one. I think I just saw the big straps that said Victoria's Secret, and so I looked into it a little bit further. It looks super clean. It's 34C, and it gave in the tags, it gave some keywords for me to use to help me create the listing and find similar items. So that was another reason for grabbing it. But in this case, the buyer is all in for $26.01, and my earnings from eBay, $16.39 for a profit of $13. Now, will I continue to source bras? I don't know. Maybe it's a niche I should look into, because I do see them a lot at the bins, but I typically don't do any kind of research on them. So maybe that's an opportunity for me. Let me know in the comments if there are certain bras that you find at the bins that I should be looking at and selling. So I normally don't buy kids items, but this jacket just, was cute. It's a Disney Tinkerbell satin jacket, and on the front it has a little Tinkerbell logo. On the back it has a big Tinkerbell graphic. The size is a girl's extra small, and I held on to this for about 2 months or so. But this buyer is all in for $25.65, and eBay paid me $13.95, and I got a profit of $11. Here we have a soccer jersey. I've had a lot of luck with soccer or football club clothing items. So this was Umbro is the brand, and it's England 2008-2010, which I learned doing the research. It actually, on the bottom hem, it tells you that. But this is actually an away jersey, size adult XL. So this buyer is all in for $31.53, and my earnings from eBay, $20.40 for a profit of $17. So keep an eye out for those football club jerseys. Here we have a pair of Lucky Brand jeans, low-rise bootleg, so a lot of good keyword items that are in style. It's a size 0 actually, and this buyer is all in for $35.44. eBay gave me $19.23 for a profit of $16. Lucky Brand is a good brand, although it appears to me that the price is getting a little bit softer right now. So just do your research before picking them up, even at the bins. Okay, so let's talk about cash flow, how many hours I worked, and my hourly rate for the week. So first of all, how much did I spend on new inventory? So I went to the Goodwill bins and one garage sale, and I spent $116.60 on 71 items. My average cost per item, $1.64, which is really good. So if I subtract that $116.60 from my eBay payout of $303.34, I come up with a positive cash flow for the week of $186.74. Okay, so how many hours did I work this week? Well, I spent 5 hours sourcing. That includes travel time back and forth to the Goodwill bins. I spent an hour and a half shipping items this week. I spent 3.5 hours taking pictures. And I spent 12 hours creating the listings for a total of 22 hours. Now, if I take my profit, which we calculated earlier, of $252.34 and divide that by 22 hours, my hourly rate pre-tax is $10.51. Woo! Now, if I want to subtract 25% off the top of that for post-tax, my hourly rate is $8.60. Even better. However, most of my time is spent building the business. In other words, I'm not just replacing what I'm selling every week. You know, I'm spending most of my time adding 50 items to my store every single week in order to grow my business. So what I wanted to do was just look, okay, how much does it cost per item to source it, to list it, and to ship it? So let's look at that. So for sourcing, I calculated this week, I averaged 5 minutes each. So I had 5 hours divided by 65 items that I found, and or the 71 items actually, and I ended up with roughly 5 minutes per item. For shipping items, it takes me on average about 6 minutes each item. For taking pictures, an average of 3 minutes per item, and to list an item, it takes me roughly 10 minutes on average. So add up that per item, 24 minutes per item. So if I take my average profit per item, which we calculated earlier, of $14.84, and I divide that by the 24 minutes and then convert it into an hourly rate, I get $37.10 per hour. Boom! Much better than $10 an hour. So that is my hourly rate per item that I sell. Now, if you want to take 25% off for taxes, it would be $27.83 per hour. Well, thanks for watching eBay with Chris. If you enjoyed this video or got some value out of this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to follow me on my journey from $0 to $3,000 profit, click the subscribe button. Check out all my weekly updates and monthly reports. Also, if you love this video and you want to just binge watch more content of eBay with Chris, check out this video right here. Enjoy.